Hi, everyone. I'm Diane Brady. I'm here with Alexandre Mars, who is CEO of Bliss, as well as founder of the Epic Foundation, great entrepreneur, author of 3 books, most recently Mission Possible, which was recently published here in the US. Alexandre, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you are, I believe are you in Paris right now? Where are we catching you?
And it's a good point. That's the question my wife is always asking me, where I will be next.
Where are you?
I'm currently doing a book tour, but I've stopped by just Paris. I'm coming back to the US just next week. So it's but today, yes, in this beautiful city, and you know it well, Diane, Paris.
Yes, yeah, this family sighting, very important. So talk about, I'm very curious about Mission Possible, because I saw some of the tenets. I know this came out earlier in Europe. What is the purpose and mission of writing that book?
Great question. I think it's for every single author. It's the first question: why writing a book? To me, it was the kind of book I would have loved reading 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. I'm an entrepreneur. You said it. I started 7 different startups in the last 30 years, and every time I would have loved having some things, and I need to know more, because sometimes you make so many mistakes that could be avoided. And also so many times I got people coming to see me, Diane. They came to see me saying, I won't go because it's too hard, because I don't have the tools, or I need a guide. So the book is for all the entrepreneurs who want to start their business, or who have started something and they have so many questions. That's the reason why I wrote that book.
One of the things that's interesting is the difference between Europe and the US. Even, I know the entrepreneurial environment is different, but yet there's a very strong culture. You go to CES, I believe France was the 3rd largest presence there when it came to entrepreneurs. Is the message the same for entrepreneurs in both countries, given that the environment is very different between France and the US?
It's a good point. It's not only France, I think. It's mainly Europe.
Right.
I remember being in those 2 regions for years now. There's an evolution, and you know this, Diane. There is a strong evolution. For years and years and years, entrepreneurship was way more in the US. Why? 2 main reasons. Why? The financing side, you had more money in the US. 2, a very important point. In the US, you can fail. It's okay.
Bankruptcy was the first word that came to mind. Good thing. It's a good thing.
But you can fail. You know this. In the US, it's okay. You fail. You try. You will become better. That's the Nelson Mandela's phrase saying, you know what? I will always be a winner. Either I win or I learn. And that's something important. In Europe, it's different. It was different. You have to succeed. What kind of pressure you put on people then?
Yeah.
You have to, it's impossible. I don't know if you will be successful next year or in 5 years. Entrepreneurship is super key in that case, because you start, you always know if you will be successful.
Right.
And that's a change of mentality. And you know this, a huge mindset shift in the last 10 years, I think, where now, even in Europe, it's okay. You can fail. It's okay. You have learned something. And that's across Europe. So that's, I think, the most different, the 2 most important points between what was there 10 years ago and today. Financing, we have more and more, even public banks putting money. In France, you have something called BPI, but the same across Europe. And then you start having entrepreneurs who have been successful, who became business angels, and the virtual cycle then. And then it's a mindset. And in the book, in the book, there's a chapter about just those failures. It's okay. You need to embrace failures. It's hard, but it's okay.
It's interesting. I would have loved to have been a ballerina, but I didn't have the native talent. So, them's the breaks. With entrepreneurship, sometimes it feels like the same challenge. You have to have a spark of an idea that can be truly game-changing. You have to have all these innate qualities. What is it that you can learn from a book, or I know you've turned it into a master class as well, that you think can be learned as opposed to innate to some extent?
Oh, it's a great question. First, when I started writing a book, and you know how hard it is to write a book, it was not
Can't
only
stand it.
my that it was only not my own experiences. It was I had to come and talk and interview 30 other entrepreneurs from the tech side, from the non-tech side, said, tell me the important things for you in terms of stuff, basic stuff sometimes is about partnerships. How do you raise money? What about the name of your startup and the mission you should have or not have? And now it's 21 chapters, as you know, in the book. Every time there is a question, there is an answer attached to this question. That's how we see it. It's not just saying, "Oh, it's good. You should start something." It's very pragmatic and technical. And then the first point of the book, the first chapter, it's important what you said. So many people came to see me saying, "I will start only the day of something breakthrough, so something that has not been done before." The truth is,
High
it's
bar.
almost impossible, to be honest. And a lot of people, they put so much pressure because they say, I will be the next Musk. Maybe it's not, it's no longer the case. Not
Yeah,
everyone wants to
well,
be.
not on Twitter, maybe Tesla. Right.
So that's the point. And that's what we see. And then you put yourself under so much pressure. It's fine. I built 7 different startups. Only one was very, very innovative. The 6 others were very successful, but not maybe just a breakthrough technology. It's okay.
What was the one that was most successful? Is it the current work you're doing?
It's maybe the next one will be even more now. But the point, the Epic, you mentioned the Epic it's a nonprofit, but the way we build a nonprofit in the world of today was very innovative. The way we disperse the money, the way we select nonprofit, the way we turn everything around with this business mindset to a point where the Kennedy School from Harvard came to see us and can we just write a business case on Epic? Because there's so innovation in a way that has been not seen much in this world of nonprofit. So you can even go to the nonprofit world with really modern ideas.
Well, let's focus a bit on you for a second. And I do want to give people a taste of the book so that, as a reward for watching the video, they can get a couple of tips, then go buy the book. But talk about the Epic model. What's so different about it?
Sure. Every time, and it's also in the book, what I'm always explaining is what is about the market research. Tomorrow, if together we say we'll start a new media, I think before starting it, we need to see if there is
What's the market need?
Yes, what can the market? What can we do? How can we do this? So many times people are starting saying, "Oh, I have a nice idea and it will work." And most of the time, as we know, it won't work. It's okay, but still, maybe you can just save time by doing market research. 7 years ago, I did start Epic, and I started Epic with a clear vision. It's impossible to see so much influence and money in the world not always going toward the right causes and all those nonprofit doing so much good work. So then I said to myself, what is the issue? What is the issue? Why people are not sharing more? Then market research, I want to talk to a lot of people, basic questions all the time. And the 2 questions I was asking Diane was super easy. One, have you given money last year to any nonprofits? 100% of the people I was meeting with said yes. But then I was asking a tricky question. Do you think, Diane, you gave enough?
That would be a very different answer in the US or France. 'Cause I'm from Canada and I always think, it's not ironic to say I'm from the government and I'm here to help. There is a social system that doesn't encourage as much philanthropy. So
sovereign states, it's a good point. Sovereign states will have different answers. Having said this, in the US, Epic is headquartered in New York. And in the US, when you are very true with yourself, I can tell you that, no, I could have done more. And so now, wherever I was going, 95% of people I trusted told me I could do more. Then why? I could have done more, but I have not, because I don't trust nonprofit. I have no time. I don't have the knowledge. It's what it is. So you know what? I will give to my kids' schools. I will give to my church, synagogue, mosque. And when we hit the 50-year mark, the people who are listening to us, you will see you will start giving to hospitals. You never give to hospitals when you're 20.
No,
Never,
it's
ever.
your stage of life, right? It's sort of
It's because it's giving and counter giving every time. You need to understand that it's the same in any businesses. You need to understand why people are doing what they have to do.
What Epic does is almost like a market research function in so far as saying,
but it's more a PE firm. It's more a venture firm for philanthropists. It's Epic, the team, is traveling the world to find exceptional nonprofit in terms of governance, in terms of impact
where your money can
and
be
management.
Deployed well.
And when we select them, after we can go back after people saying, I want to do more. I said, guys, we have selected, but a very important caveat, everything is at no cost. So it means that I'm paying all the other ads. So when you die and you said, I want to give 100 or 1 or 10 or whatever, you know that 100% of it will go to the nonprofits.
Well,
and Blaise, and you mentioned, Blaise, the venture fund. The venture fund, this is a pure venture fund. Pure, I shouldn't say this. It's the first B Corp, and I know it's important also for you. It's the first B Corp investment firm. We have backed the Spotify, the Headspace, the Too Good To Go of the world. But it's very similar to Epic. It's just picking and backing the real mission-driven for-profits in the world. But in very similar mindsets.
I think, and I like the synergy. I also love the fact, by the way, that you started in high school, I think, organizing concerts, which gives you a cool factor. I don't know how successful that was, but let's talk about Mission Possible. And let's just give people, help them glean some of the intelligence from this book. And so I'm an entrepreneur, say, and you've talked to so many. What are some tips? And I don't want, feeling guilty. It's like, exercise more, eat less. It can sound simple, hard to do, but what would be some of the things you would do today to prepare yourself for success?
Good question. I will start with the end of the question. Success. For
Outcome?
Success is a good point, but for us, maybe success, or if you had the same conversation 5 years ago, even 10 years ago together,
I think the success
would have been only number of zeros on the bank account, the size of your car. What is important now is, and not only just the Gen Z or entrepreneurs, we have a different definition of success.
Yeah.
So first is define what is your success. Is that you have just to work like a workaholic? Is to have a real balance in your life? What is important with entrepreneurship? It's okay. You will find something. It will be pretty well shaped for you.
So know thyself is really the first rule, right? Know thyself and what's important to you.
Yeah, I think it's key. And I think there's no pressure there. So maybe pressure were there 10 years ago. There's no pressure now. Define your mission. Something important also, you have to define your mission. You cannot be successful in your own words if nothing is attached to your mission. Why are you doing what you're doing?
So what is your mission, Alexandre? How would you define your own mission?
I knew and I realized my mission very early in my life. My mission is clear. Life mission to be of service for the underserved. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to be there for the community, for the people who are really suffering. And I realized when I was younger, I was thinking that I will become a social worker, not the entrepreneur I became. And I realized years and years ago that I will have more impact if I was leveraging my unique, maybe entrepreneurial mindset. And every time I see something coming, I said, oh, there's maybe something we can build to fix or to help fixing this. Mm-hmm. So that's my life mission. And under this, every time I see something, I'm building a business against this.
So that's stage one. Know thyself. What would be, so once I say, okay, here I know what success is, there's product market fit, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's always the question between, another question I will ask you, do you think to reach that success, Diana, do you think it's better to have a good product, a great team, or to work hard? If you have to pick one of the three.
I think, I would go for product, but I'm guessing you're going to say team. It's all about the people. Is that
done? I think you could have picked the three. Again, interviewing those people one after the other, every time they have told me, and that's what I've seen myself work. I've never seen anyone, it's not one, Diane, anyone be more successful than someone else. Again, let's define your mission, but this your mission is to be there. There is no way that you won't work less than anyone else. I've never met anyone.
So is that one reason women don't do, I mean, I'm not to get into the, who bears the children, but it does seem like it's a persistent challenge, not just the money flowing to, female founded businesses, but the success of those businesses. And it's an enigma to a lot of people. Is that one of the reasons you think?
It's to my point, yes. It will be hard. It will be hard, especially between, you are 25 and 35, you're building the family, and then you still need to work 10, there is a chapter here called 10,000 hours.
You're not from New York, by the way. 35 is you're a child bride here if you start a family at that age, but I digress. Well,
it's a good point. If you really want, and this has been proven, if you want to excel, I'm not saying you need to be good. If you want to excel in anything, you need to spend more than 10,000 hours doing it again. And it's woodshedding. If you play the piano, it's woodshedding, working. And to your point, it's where will be your sacrifices. And it's not, I don't like talking about sacrifices when we talk about something so positive, which should be entrepreneurship. The truth is, let's be real. The Instagram life doesn't exist. Success is not easy. It will be hard, and life is tough. We know
you
this.
Can't just be an influencer from your bedroom because you want to be or whatever.
So
that's a different form of fame.
So if you really want to be there, what you will be able to sacrifice, it will be your friends, your sports, the next, I'm not a very good Netflix, I don't have time for this. Or I won't sleep much. I'm able to not sleep much. That's where I'm sacrificing something, but I'm sacrificing my health is not good. I know this, but to achieve my life mission, to be able to be of help for the ones who really need this help is fine. So what you need to define is where you need to be able to sacrifice, because there will be sacrifices across or just along the journey.
So this is very oriented to entrepreneurs. I know, is there a message in there for the people who perhaps are better suited to being employees? Because I look on myself, I like to have infrastructure around me because that helps to enable me to do what I do well. The idea of doing it all myself becomes almost paralyzing.
So it's funny, same conversation I had just the other night with my wife, very similar. She's not an entrepreneur per se, but she's like you, I'm sure. She likes working. Yes, she wants this. So it's a good point. The book is for also what I call the intrapreneur. It's, you have the structure, but you
innovating within your company.
You thrive this. It's not your own, you don't own it 100%, but you thrive, and it will empower you to become better. And to be honest, what is in the book will just be almost perfectly just shaped for those people as well.
So let me step back, and I do want to tap into your expertise in sort of knowing these different markets. I know you travel around the world. What is the environment like right now in Europe? You talked about the entrepreneurial energy, but I know there's been, we've gone through COVID. There's been hard times. We've seen there's a lot of pain and strikes here in the U.S. as well, obviously. Where do you see sort of the real pockets of opportunity? And is there anything new emerging that you think is underappreciated in terms of innovation or trends?
And when we talk about just all those decarbonization, and we saw this again this year at Davos and the COP27, it's where it's different. If you talk about Europe and US in terms of technology, is now it's close, but in terms of decarbonization, how you can really have an impact in Europe, really love this very much. They have also budget for this. So I do see renovation also coming from there, but we see, to be honest, we see innovation everywhere. You have so many people who say, I want this. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start my own business. So it's and then it means that's a lot of will.
It's a it's a very good point. The pockets of excellence around the world are emerging, all over the place. I know Morocco's got a big community, and so it's no longer Silicon Valley and a couple of different centers. Anything else you would want to leave people with, especially in terms of what's on your radar right now? I know you're going on this book tour. As you're talking to people, we're in a mixed point where we're not sure if there's headwinds or if there's lots of opportunity ahead of us. What thoughts would you have for people who are perhaps sitting here, some of whom may have been laid off, interested in entrepreneurship, thinking of an idea? What would you say?
I think it's something important for the ones who want to do it. It's do it. Just you don't hit the home run if you don't swing the bat. It will never ever happen. So, and what I don't want is, and I've met so many of them said, "Oh, I should have started 5 years ago, or 2 years ago, or 10 years ago." It's something. So, if you're able to say, "Why not? Why not me?" If you're able to define your success, what's success for you, and the meaning of success is very different. And then if you can attach this to your own journey, I think then you enjoy it, and not too much pressure. Don't try to be the next, Musk or Gates, or it's okay if you are a normal entrepreneur, enjoying what you do, bring something great to the communities, and defining why. And it's a big question, I know, for everyone. But at some point, you need to define the why and to be of service. And we in the US, we always do this. We always say it. We have to be, when we talk about stadiums, we go in stadiums, we need to be of service. It's something important. Entrepreneurs have this in common. We can and we want to be of service on different fronts, but this is important. So define well your mission and do it. Go, take the plunge.
Great. I think that's, I can't think of a better way to end than there. So thank you very much, Alexandre. I encourage everybody, of course, to get the book called Mission Possible, check out Epic Foundation, and I know you're going on a tour, so look forward to hopefully seeing you on the road.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much for the invitation.
Thank you. Good to talk.